Maybe you just think that women should be equally represented in the decision-making fora of our nation. Maybe that's really just about having proper equality in a body that's meant to be representative.
Well, I do believe that women should have... I don't understand your question, I guess.
I guess you don't. That's pretty obvious, unfortunately.
Well, how about if you phrase it more clearly, instead of just insulting me? 99.9% of bricklayers are men. Should we have quotas for women?
Is bricklaying representative democracy?
That has nothing to do with the question. The question is if there's evidence of structural inequality and oppression because women aren't precisely represented at 50% in all professions at all levels, then why don't we have a conversation about having women represented in all professions at all levels? Well, why do we talk about the C-suite, for example? Why do we talk about politics and positions of power? Why don't we talk about it across the board?
Okay,
yeah, but that's because it's power.
All my back, all my legs, the lot, and I ended up in hospital because she won't let me out of the house.
It's not funny though. Can I tell you why it's not funny? If this was the other way around and a woman was sat here and a bloke had locked her in a flat and she had to jump out and injured herself, you lot would not be laughing. Somehow, if it happens to a bloke, that's funny. That's not funny, is it?
The power a white woman has in the legal system is fucking atrocious, especially if you're not a white, like if you're a white man yourself, you're still fucked, but if you're like a minority man, you are fucked. If a white girl wants you to be in jail or some shit, bro, you are fucked. The police, society, all these little white knights, all everyone else around you will believe the white woman over you 9.9 times out of 10.
How many female-dominated industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Not a lot, and that should change.
Why should that change? What do you want to do? Do you want to throw the trash out? Do you want to go dig it in the mines and get exploded? Do you want to go fight wars? No, the hell you don't. You just think it should change because you're feminist brainwashed, bro.
It should change because I should have as much power as a man. Okay, why? Because I want it. Really? No.
Society set us up.
Society.
Hey, yo, am I tripping? Or did we just witness sexual assault? I mean,
you're not tripping.
Ladies walked into a complete stranger's place of work and started rubbing their genitals on them.
Right.
Could you imagine if the roles were reversed? Hey, y'all don't hear me. Stay safe.
I hear you, young scholar. I hear you very loud and clear. Can you imagine how quickly security would be on him? The cops would be called. Oh, God. He'd be labeled a sex offender. The social consequences for men versus women out in public are ridiculously different. That's why I think that it's important that we review content like this, because no matter how much that you can talk about it, reviewing actual shit of it actually happening will finally get people to understand, which is really one of the true biggest values of channels just like this. Get your goddamn BBL and your green throw-up colored hair off of me.
My ears are starting to hurt from repeated exposure to these phrases because I've heard them so frequently. Women are subjected to oppression, patriarchy is harmful, and toxic masculinity is a problem. Women who are ill are the victims. These stories don't have much to do with reality. Did you know that men and women die from prostate and breast cancer at about the same rate? But breast cancer research gets 6 times more money than prostate cancer research. Men make up 85% of the homeless population in the United States. Men also receive significantly longer prison sentences than women for the exact same crime. And when couples divorce, men are more likely to be left in a financially ruinous state with limited or no access to their own children. The family law system benefits the mother at the expense of the father no less than men by a wide margin, as do some more dangerous professions, such as becoming roofers, firefighters, law enforcement officers, or miners. 94% of all work injuries are caused by men, which is a shocking number. Men also travel further and work longer hours than women, so while men often earn more, this is because men take on riskier and thus higher-paying roles, often attempting to buy their way into the approval and love of women like the good little bucks they are. Men also work longer hours than women do. Despite the fact that 24 of the Fortune 500 companies are led by women CEOs, the state of California passed a law in 2018 that requires publicly traded companies to increase the number of women serving on their boards of directors. On the other hand, there is no similar effort to increase the number of women working in coal mines, offshore drilling, or on garbage trucks. This is an attempt to equalize outcomes without equalizing effort or merit. In circumstances in which one parent is required to pay child support to the other parent, Men are twice as likely as women to pay child support. Even so, there is no common female version of the insulting term deadbeat dad, which is used to describe a parent who doesn't pay child support. Male victims of violent crimes outnumber female victims by a factor of 2 to 1, and men are 3 times more likely to be mature than women. Schools are more effective at educating girls than they are at educating boys, even though education for boys begins at an earlier age than for girls. Women now earn the majority of associate, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees, and their share of college degrees is growing almost every year. This trend is expected to continue. Men are portrayed in every TV sitcom and commercial as being incapable of doing anything right, whereas women are praised and celebrated for their accomplishments. You are viewed as a predator if you take your children anywhere in public. While stay-at-home moms are strong, independent heroes, stay-at-home dads are lazy losers. When a man dumps a woman because he is afraid of commitment, women are not blamed. Women can beat us up all they want, but if we respond with monsters, it's his fault. If a woman gets angry at the man, it's his fault. While it's unacceptable to believe a girl is too overweight, it's acceptable for her to believe that men are too short. Feminists are trying to devalue men and elevate women. They want to establish a matriarchal society instead of just abolishing the so-called patriarchy. Feminists are in a power struggle. They label patriarchy and wage disparity as toxic forms of masculinity. They aren't concerned with promoting equality. All they want to do is spread hatred and misandry. They suppress and cancel events if they don't like them, such as International Men's Day, while hypocritically fighting for freedom of speech at the same time. They are not fighting for work suffrage, reproductive rights, and all of those things that they already have. Rather, all they want is to have more privileges. They would fight for things like walking around, going on walks while stressed, and complaining about harassment. What rights in a patriarchal society do men enjoy that women do not? If the wage gap is real, where did all these laws that shield women from harm and hold men accountable come from? Why wouldn't a company hire only women if they can perform the same job just as well and for less money? The feminist movement is now, and has never been, about power rather than equality. Feminists are fighting and subduing men. You must choose between equality and being a protected class. You cannot have both. That's all for today. To give your support, click the thumbs up button. Please leave a comment below if you would like to see more videos like this one. Be sure to give it to the guys who are in the most precarious need of it.